And as I looked through the spider web and past the spider, I saw the hummingbirds. Stopping and noticing, I noticed that, man, Wild Kingdom's in my front yard. This morning, on my way to one of my office annexes, now I have a home office, so I like to, every once in a while, go out to someplace different to start my day. It's a good way to connect with what's going on in the world, get out of the house, and a fresh place means fresh perspective so that I can do some creative work. Well, on my way out of the house this morning, there's this big spider web that reaches from the overhang on our front porch all the way out to one of the trees in our front yard. Huge spider web. And this spider, I noticed it and decided to walk over and check out this nice looking spider. Turns out he's having, or she's having, an amazing little breakfast. And the spider is wrapping its catch in a web and really starting to get into this breakfast. You know, the best days start with the best breakfast, and this spider was starting out its day really, really good. I also looked up and I noticed that there was probably 5 or 6 hummingbirds just getting the food on our plants in the front yard and having their breakfast as well. And it kind of reminded me, number one, how often have I walked by spiders' webs that weren't in my way? All of us have had that wonderful feeling of stepping through a spider web and wondering where that spider is as we're getting the webs off ourselves. This one was off to the side. And how often do I not stop and take a closer look? And that's, I mean, in stopping and noticing, that's part of the simple part of living juicy, is the noticing. And that spider was out of the ordinary, for at least in my yard. Although maybe a couple times a week, there's spiders that build webs like this, the nice kind of symmetrical webs around our house in our garden. And I don't stop. But I stopped and I noticed this great piece of nature happening right in front of my face. And as I looked through the spider web and past the spider, I saw the hummingbirds. Stopping and noticing, I noticed that, man, Wild Kingdom's in my front yard. Too often we think living life juicy means going someplace exotic or doing wild and crazy things, when really living life juicy is happening all around us if we stop and notice. It's in the ordinary things like spider webs and hummingbirds. It's in the joyful laughter of my 5.5-year-old, soon to be 6-year-old, as he always reminds me, and the things that he says and the things that he does. In fact, another thing about noticing, so my son likes to stand up on one of our chairs in the family room, look out the window, and he sees we call Camelback Mountain that's in our neighborhood. He noticed that, he talks about it a lot, and now he's using his blanket and stuffed toys to create the silhouette of Camelback Mountain. This morning when I came down before I left, before he wanted to do anything else, he started laying on the ground and looking at his creation of Camelback Mountain from different angles, like he was looking at our window at the real thing. He noticed this great thing that I grew up with is brand new to him, and he's recreating it. He's noticing things. Man, I wish I had the childlike vision to notice things as new. So, Wild Kingdom in my front yard, my son noticing a mountain I grew up with. Man, these are reminders that living life juicy doesn't have to be spectacular. It's in the ordinary things that we notice that makes life juicy.